Welcome to the lesson that will walk you through on cropping images like a square so that you can add them to the quilt project. Now I'm going to go ahead and do an example of looking up an image. In this case I'm looking up a Vietnamese farmer because one of the characters in the book had a father from Vietnam who was a farmer. Before you start looking for images, make sure that Safe Search is on. If not, you need to make sure it says strict. Just an important little tip. So we're not too concerned about getting large images this time because the images will be small squares. So I'm going to go ahead and grab an image and save it. And I like this image. Now you could actually right click on this small image. You don't need to click on it to get the bigger image. If you choose to, that's fine because you're used to it from my class. So go ahead and right click, save picture as, locate the folder that you were provided for this unit. I called it Seedfolks. And put it in images to edit. And go ahead and rice farmer, that's fine, or you can call it Vietnamese farmer or whatever. You will be renaming this later after you crop it. Go ahead and click on save when you're done. And you're responsible for getting 4 or more images for this project. So get 4 or more images into that images to edit folder. Once you've done that, we're going to go to a website called Pixlr. Go to Google. And I'm going to go to Pixlr, which is a free online image editor. I'll go ahead and go there. When this loads, you're going to open Photo Editor. Say Open Image from Computer. So I'm going to go ahead and locate that folder where I just saved the image in Seedfolks, Images to Edit. I'll go ahead and open that up. Your job is to make this a square. The first thing you want to do with it open is go to Image, Image Size. Take note of the smallest number. In this case, it's 282. So I'll say OK. I'm going to go up to the rectangular marquee here, and I'm going to go to Constrain and choose Fixed Size. And the height was 282. There it is. And we'll set the width to 282. I will now click down on the image. You can move that marquee, but actually I want to move it here. And now I will choose Image, and then I will choose Crop. It is now a square. I'm now going to choose File, Save. When this window pops up, I'm going to name it by my first name, and I'll call it Chris, and I'll call it Pick 1. And then my next image would be Chris Pick 2, Chris Pick 3, and so forth. The reason that we're saving them by our first name is because we're all going to share the images as a class, and the name has to be unique, or it will be overwritten by one of your peers. So for example, if we named it Farmer and saved it in this folder for the class to share, and another student names it Farmer, they're going to overwrite the other image, which is not a good thing. With that said, I'm going to call it Chris Pick 1. My next image will be Chris Pick 2, and so forth. I'm now going to make sure that it's set to JPEG, because that's the format we want. I'll set it to 100 for quality. I'll say OK, and now I'm going to go Actually, I'm going to put it in that folder, Seedfolks, and then I'll put it in Square Images and click Save. We're not going to put it in the public drive yet. You will eventually put those in the public drive for everyone to share. If you didn't want to bother with cropping in an image editing program, what you could do is you can go in to the settings and choose Advanced Search. You can scroll down and under Aspect Ratio, click Square, and then go ahead and go back to your search, Advanced Search, and it should bring back square images. That prevents you from having to crop images, but it also limits the type of images you might get. I'm going to go ahead and I could right click, Save Picture As, and I'm going to put it right into that folder called Square Images. And I'll call this Tomatoes. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to call it Tomatoes. I'm going to call it Chris because it's already a square. Chris Pick 2. And I'll say Save. I'm now getting my square images for this project. Once you have 4 or more images that are shaped like a square, you're ready to share them with the class. Now make sure that you name it your name, the number. Notice I have apartments here. So I have a Chris Pick 1, a Chris Pick 2, and a Chris Pick 3. So I'll right click and rename apartments. Chris Pick 4, and then the closed one I'll save as Chris Pick 5. This is also how you will get credit for the project. I will now do Control A to select all. I will do Control C, or you can right-click on the selected images and choose Copy. Then you go to the public drive, go to Computers, and then you're going to locate your class folder. So for example, period 5, there should be a folder in there called Images for Seedfolks. Go ahead and paste those in by right-clicking and choosing Paste or Control V. You have now added your images for the project. The next video will demonstrate how to add your images to your quilt. Until next time, you have a wonderful day.